Hey, what's going on? Welcome to The Doug Show. My name is Doug Cunnington, and in this episode, I talk to Evan Porter. And Evan has been on the show 2 other times, and he shared his success story. All right. So the first time, he was sharing a story about making $4,000 per month using the keyword golden ratio. And then a few months later, he joined me when he doubled it again. He doubled his revenue again. He was making about $8,000 per month. And this is not as cheery of an episode, all right? Things are still going okay for Evan, but I think it is important for me to share these kind of updates as well. So unfortunately, Evan was hit by one of the algorithm updates and traffic dropped on one of his sites, all right? So traffic dropped on his big money maker by about 25%. Now, we didn't get into the revenue exactly in this specific episode. At some point, I think when people reach a certain revenue amount, they kind of, they hold back a little bit. So I didn't press Evan on this too much. I can respect that. And I kind of, I appreciate the fact that people want to, hold their livelihood a little bit more, close to the chest there. So anyway, Evan got hit by this algorithm update, lost a little bit of traffic, lost a little bit of revenue. So that's a bummer, and it happens from time to time. I believe basically in any business model, whether it's a brick and mortar business, if you're doing like any kind of online business, you have maybe Facebook ads running, or you're doing AdSense, or you're running AdWords for a drop shipping site, or you have Kindle publishing and blah, blah, blah. There's always some change that can happen that can impact you. And we have to react, right? You got to do something. And in Evan's case, he is, working full time for himself on his affiliate marketing sites. So it's pretty important for him to take it in stride, do things that he thinks that they will help, right? And then keep moving forward, keep growing, keep learning as you go. I've gone through this myself. I continue to go through it from time to time. And you just have to keep pushing forward. And that's what Evan's doing. So again, key, I think it's very key. It's essential. It's my responsibility to share these kind of stories with you as well. Now, one cool thing that's going on is Evan started a site, and it is less than a year old, yet it's already at the $2,000 per month mark, using the same sort of formula, the same kind of blueprint. However, it's in a different industry, and he's treating it a little bit differently in some ways. So we talk about like this new site, and I think it's promising, and I think it still, it holds water, I guess, this whole business model, right? So yes, there are potentially ups and downs. There are risks out there, but we have to keep pushing on. I mean, whatever you end up doing, there's potentially, some things you have to adjust for. So without further ado, let's hear from Evan. Hey, what's going on? It's Doug Cunnington here, and this is The Doug Show. I'm chilling with Evan Porter. How are you today?
Hey, I'm good, Doug. I'm glad to be back.
And you have been on the show a few times, so I think this is your third time on?
Yeah, I'm getting to be a veteran at this point, yeah.
It's awesome. Well, for the people that don't know you, can you give a little bit of an intro about your background, and just pretty brief, but yeah, what's up with you?
Yeah, sure. I'll do the short version. My name is Evan. I used to work as a full-time writer and content marketer. I got my start in an agency and eventually went on to write for one of the really big viral news publishers. And I got started doing my own blogs and affiliate marketing coming up on 2 years now, maybe a year and a half or so that I've been going at it close to full time. So these days I do blogging full time, and yeah,
cool.
That's pretty much where I'm at.
Awesome. So, and this is like a classic case where like someone had skills. Obviously, writing is a very valuable skill for being a blogger, but you were able to take those skills and you actually, worked at a big company. So you're able to like really learn like web content well, and now you're able to work for yourself, which is super cool. And that's how we got connected at first, because you pinged me and you were like, hey, I'm using the keyword golden ratio, and I was able to like get a lot more traffic. And the first time you were on, if I remember correctly, it was like you were making 4K per month, and then you did some more stuff, and you were making 8K, which was awesome. And then, this has been almost a couple of years now. So this is the update. So where are you at now? This is sort of like the summertime of 2019.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I wish I could say it was all rosy, but there's definitely been some setbacks, some trials and tribulations. So when we talked, I think it was January of this year. January is like the really peak season of the main niche that I'm in. So I had a great month. Everything was looking really amazing for a while. And then I got hit by an update in March, the March 12th Google update. I saw my traffic just overnight. Not like crazy. I didn't lose everything, but I lost about 20 to 25% of my long tail traffic, it looks like. We were talking before this. I didn't lose any major rankings. There was no obvious symptom. It just seemed like some of those longer tail searches weren't coming in anymore. Like Google had shuffled around the way they were organizing those search results. And my site got hurt a little bit and took a bit of a setback there. But overall, the business is still like pretty healthy. I'm still earning, a full-time income, and just trying to rebuild what I had lost there.
Got it. And then like, did the earnings drop correspondingly, like the 25% as well, or was it different?
Yeah, more or less. I definitely felt like a lot of my money pages and the Amazon affiliate type pages got hit the most. But I have multiple revenue streams, and they all kind of had gains and losses in different areas. So it's hard to say exactly, but yeah, I mean, the overall revenue took a big dip as well.
Okay. And how did you deal with that? Like on a, just a personal level? Cause that's like, this has happened to me, right? It's a real kick in the ball. Yeah. So how'd you handle it?
A lot of freaking out, a lot of cursing, drinking. No, no, I mean, I just reached out to smart people that I know, and I was like, hey, what do you know about this update? Like, what's going on? Was there a specific thing that Google was targeting? I never really got a clear answer. I mean, I know a lot of the times you don't really know, right? People have guesses and predictions, and there's evidence that leans one way or the other. But, I wish it was as simple as, you could just go flip one button on your site and get everything back. But it's often quite a bit more complicated than that. So I just had to kind of accept that, okay, this is a setback, and I gotta kind of rebuild a little bit. I mean, it was a good thing that I didn't lose my main keyword ranking. So it's not like, oh, Google hates my site now. I just kind of saw a dip. Again, like that longer tail traffic, like potentially I had some posts ranking for things that they didn't really deserve to rank for. And that's gone. And so I just got to build it back up.
Got it. And what did you do, like actually on the site? Did you try to add some more like credibility, or what was your approach? And I'll just leave it at that. What was your approach?
Yeah, well, it definitely made me kind of take a step back and take stock of, my strategies and things like that. So I've been trying to get some more links, doing some more link building. It's something I've really neglected this deep into the site, and with it being so big and making a good amount of money, I feel like that left it a little bit vulnerable. So I've been able to get some good links through, kind of guest posting and writing articles for like media publications and things like that. I've looked at my site speed, which I realized was not ideal, and so I've made a couple tweaks to kind of bring that up, and just kind of like turning over every stone.
Sure. So I think that the link building thing is interesting because, knock on wood, I haven't had any issues in the last few years with any of the algorithm updates. Generally, especially in the last year, so 2018, 2019, my observation is most of the people that have been hit usually don't have very many backlinks to their site across the board. Like I can't think of an example where someone's like, I was crushing it with backlinks, also my site got hit. I haven't seen that. So
yeah.
You mentioned you neglected it. Did you have very many links up until March?
Well, the site's over 2 years old now, so it has accrued some natural backlinks. It's accrued a lot of social media shares and forum posts and things like that. I did one link building campaign early in the site's history, which got a couple. But other than that, no, I wouldn't say it had like a huge backlink profile. But the interesting thing is I have 2 different sites, and only one really got hit by that update, and the other one is still growing very, very nicely. So in terms of like the overall way that I approach the content strategy, I don't think it was an issue. I think it was one of those things where, those certain niches that Google is really, really tough on, and you need to do more in certain niches to have that authority.
Got it. And that said, like your other site is growing, and you said you had the same content approach. Hopefully you're doing a little more link building.
Yeah.
But,
there.
So like, can you give us an idea on like how old the second site is, like the amount of traffic and any other details that you want to share?
Yeah. So the second site I started last June. So it's almost exactly a year old right now. And it has about 60 or 70 articles on it, brings in 60 to 70,000 page views a month. And I think last month it made just shy of $2,000. So that one is performing great for how old it is and the type of site that it is.
Gotcha. So, okay, just 1 year old, $2,000 a month.
Yes, correct.
Okay. So after 6 months, did you see like the Google Sandbox lift and that sort of thing that you hear about?
Definitely. I mean, I've seen it so many times now that it really is like you can see it in your search console. It's like toot, toot, toot. It is overnight practically, almost exactly at that 6 month mark, if you've been putting in the work and you have enough content to see it.
Yep. Awesome. It's always good to get like more data points. So I have been hearing there's like a 1 year sandbox too. So like, are you past 1 year, or is it like going to be in the next few days here?
Yeah, I'm past 1 year. I can't remember if there was a surge, but it kind of seems to hum along, like it'll plateau and then it'll jump. It'll plateau and then it'll jump. That's kind of what I see in the search console in terms of the organic traffic. So yeah, I mean, it lines up. When you hit that year point, you definitely, you have a lot more possibilities as for what you can rank for.
Okay, cool. And let's see. So we got the links, you're doing a little more. So are you doing like regular guest posting, or what's your approach with link building?
Yeah. So what I've been trying recently is, my background is in writing. Like I wrote for real media publications and stuff like that. So I've been working on pitching like media outlets, like big media sites that are relevant to my niche. Think like a Huffington Post that covers everything. There's almost no topic that they don't cover. And it's a little bit different than a typical guest post. Like you have to pitch, and you may even get paid for some of those opportunities. And you got to use your real name, you got to use a real photo, you got to have writing chops. But you can often get a link in your little author profile that can go back to your site that can be pretty powerful. So that's kind of a high effort approach to be pitching big publications like that, those big fish. But I feel like that's something that not a lot of bloggers are going to be able to do. And so with my background, like I've been going for it.
Taking advantage of that. That's awesome. Sure. And then I feel like you were doing some Pinterest work in the past. Is that right? Am I remembering that?
Yeah, definitely. I do utilize Pinterest, and it's a great traffic driver for me. But lately I've been trying to scale down the time that I put into it because I don't want it to become a time suck, and it's honestly not my favorite thing to work on. So my approach right now is I've made pins for every post that I've ever published, and I make new ones as they come up. And I just have the smart loop feature on Tailwind going, which is just you kind of make a list of your best performing pins, and then it loops and it repins them over and over again, every couple of months, spacing them out appropriately. And I pin, new stuff as it comes up. And that's basically the strategy. I like to keep it really, really simple so I don't spend hours and hours on it.
Okay. And do you have a handle, like, does that traffic from Pinterest convert well, or is it just nice to have as far as like traffic from another source?
Yeah, it can be a little bit bouncy. People, their attention span isn't super sharp on social media. They can bounce in and out. But the good thing is that I'm monetized with ads as well. So, the raw traffic is valuable to me. And I finally got around to putting a basic email capture on my site. So I'm trying to drive people into that too. So at the very least, I'll get the ad revenue and potentially some email signups.
Cool. Gotcha. And what network are you using for your ads?
I'm on Mediavine. They're on both of my sites, and they've been awesome.
Okay. Is there any like minimum traffic requirement for Mediavine and any other details you could share?
Yeah, you need to have 25,000 sessions per month. That's the minimum to get in. I think they like to see a little bit of history with that traffic level. Although I was able to get in a little bit early on my second site because I had a previous site in good standing with them, and so that helps. But they can be pretty picky. Like if your traffic is not US based, or if you're getting 90% of your traffic on one post, there's certain things that they don't like. So it can be a little bit difficult to get in. But if you have 25,000 sessions per month, that's the minimum. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And I guess those are sort of like the high level questions for the update, but like, do you, any other interesting things that have been going on that you want to share about either of your sites, or just doing this stuff in internet marketing?
Yeah. I know I've actually been in an interesting phase lately. And maybe some of your viewers and readers can relate to this I'm sure you can relate to this, but I'm at this point now where the stuff that you do and the processes you use to build a site up from nothing to a couple $1,000s a month, like that's not necessarily what's going to get you to, 10K a month, 15K a month, and the whatever your goal might be. And so, when a site gets big and it has a lot of traffic and it's making money, it actually gets harder to grow. I think like just adding a post here and there doesn't really move the needle anymore. So I'm kind of in a place where I'm testing lots of different things, lots of different types of content and promotional strategies to see like what's going to work and what I can start to really scale up, because I think it's time.
Cool. Well, let us know what it is whenever you whenever you uncover the mystery.
Yeah, once I figure it all out. Yeah. You got it.
I think you're right. I mean, like you started a new site within a year. You've hit like a pretty big milestone that so many people are like, if I could just make like, $2,000, $3,000, like that's enough for them to quit their job and like keep pushing. But like, it's another set of skills. And I think, obviously you're a strong, very good writer. And it may be around like the link building stuff. Like you got to match up the two. Like you don't have to be awesome at either one necessarily, as long as you got a little bit of each. But it's funny. I was just talking to someone else recently, and part of it's perhaps my fault, right? Where I'm just like, publish a bunch of content, don't build any links, it'll be okay. And like that's enough. That's like the cost of entry. And then after that, like if you can do the other stuff that everyone else hates doing, link building, then you could be all right. So
yeah, for sure. I mean, interesting things start to happen. Like when you've got a site that's old and it has a lot of content and a lot of traffic, like, you can publish a new post and get new traffic, but a post you wrote 2 years ago might start slipping down the rankings. So you got to do a little bit more than just like publish one new post a week to continue to grow. But like early on, it's not hard to go from $100 a month to 500. Like that can happen in 1 month. But yeah, those like tiny invisible incremental gains, like that's what you're seeing when your site is at a certain size. So you need to overcome that somehow. And that's kind of where I'm at right now, is in that re-strategizing phase.
Cool. So we're going to be talking about another couple topics in future episodes. So you actually wrote a guest post for Niche Site Project. So thanks for doing that, but it was around zero search volume. So we'll talk about that in another episode. People keep an eye out for that one, or an ear out if you're listening to the podcast. Evan, where can people find you at?
So you can actually go to wordsbyevanporter.com. It's all one word, Words by Evan Porter. It's my old personal writer's blog, but lately I've been jotting down some things that I'm learning and stuff that I'm trying in my journey as a blogger. And I think you might find it interesting.
Cool. So I'll put a link for that. And thanks a lot, Evan. We'll catch up with you next time.
Thanks, Doug.
Thanks again to Evan. Really appreciate the time. And I encourage everyone to check out his other episodes if you haven't listened to them yet. And do let me know your questions for Evan. So you can shoot an email over at feedback@doug.show, or you can leave a voicemail. The number of, I don't remember right now, but it's in the show notes and description. So you can leave an actual voicemail. I won't answer it. It's not like my phone that I have like in my pocket or anything, but I can get the voicemail and then I can play it on a show just like this. Now, the cool part is it's highly likely Evan's going to be on the show again. So if you have specific questions for Evan, let me know, because then I can ask him those questions. I can get your questions directly to Evan, and then we can talk about it. So I think that's pretty cool. Now, I'm going to cut it short today. So you have a great day. Check out some other episodes back in the archive or something like that, or maybe you just, sit quietly, turn off your phone, turn off your whatever, just sit quietly, meditate, get into it a little bit. And we'll catch you on, I don't know what day this is coming out, but on another Monday or Thursday out there. Have a great day, and we'll talk soon.